life is perfect for this opportunity. I'm at a great point, just career-wise, to be able to take on this type of endeavor. And I feel like I have something very unique to offer this whole experience in general. Like I said, I'm very coachable, I'm very trainable.
In general, that's a tough one. I'd really have to say that we live in a free country, so if you want to watch it, turn on your pay-per-view. If not, then why don't you turn on something else that's a little bit more G-rated.
Does Erica Kirk have ties to a non-for-profit called Romanian Angels, which is somehow linked to child trafficking?
The new Epstein documents didn't just name names, they exposed the main roles. And buried inside those files is confirmation that Erica Kirk wasn't just in Epstein's world. She was actively operating inside it as a recruiter. And once Romania shows up in the paper trail, that's when this stops being speculation and starts looking coordinated. Because this isn't about who Erica married later or how her life turned out after. This is about why her name keeps surfacing in places it shouldn't. The documents show repeated access and repeated involvement in the same recruitment system Epstein depended on. Epstein didn't run his operation alone, and he didn't rely on random people. He built a system that depended on women who could move comfortably through elite spaces and blend in without raising alarms. This account said, "It's worth remembering. Epstein's network documentedly used women as spies. They were often attractive women from modeling or pageant circles." Kirk was in Trump's pageant, and then once placed in a relationship or role, they would move messages, gather intel, and normalize extremist ideas inside elite circles. And they were right. These were all pipelines. Because once you track Erica's movements in that system, especially with Romania in the mix, the pattern becomes impossible to ignore. Before Charlie Kirk, before Turning Point, before the whole clean-cut rebrand, Erica was already moving through beauty pageants, audition rooms, reality TV casting calls, and fashion-adjacent spaces. And no, she wasn't just trying to make it.
I think I always had that girly girl hidden within me. After being such a tomboy and experiencing that my whole life, it was like, oh, I can curl my hair, I can put on the mascara. I come from a great family that has very amazing genetics, so thanks, Mom and Dad.
She was very clearly putting herself in rooms with visibility, power, and men whose status was on the way up. Now, by itself, that wouldn't be weird. What makes it uncomfortable is how much of that past has been literally wiped clean from the internet. Because once something hits the internet, it never really disappears. That's why an old Miss USA interview of Erica just resurfaced. At first, people thought it had to be AI because of how unfiltered and off-script it sounded.
If I could be great at one thing, I wish that I could sit in front of a mirror or a makeup mirror in general and spend more than just 20 minutes to a half hour looking at myself.
But that's very real. She was even asked about her views on adult films, and her answer is going to surprise you.
I have respect for the individuals that are in the pornography industry, not because they're degrading women or anything like that, but because that's their field and they are professionals. So I give them credit for being able to have a job and make money and stimulate the economy that way.
And these were her thoughts on weed.
I do think it should be legalized, so just take this miniature journey with me for just a second, and instead of looking at the negative side, let's look at the positive side real quick. After watching several documentaries, I do think it should be legalized because it not only has some remedies to some modern day medicines that we use, but it also can be taxed so we can get some extra stimulus money, just a thought.
Meanwhile, Charlie was very much against it.
I don't care. I'm very much against the use of marijuana, both personally and legally.
The weird thing is, Erica's Miss Arizona 2012 interview is gone from official Miss USA channels. And once you watch the footage, you start to understand why. The Erica you see in all of these old interviews doesn't line up with the version she later presented to the public.
I lived out here. I was here for 5 years. I never dated here because I saw vicariously through my roommate how terrible it was. Somehow getting drinks was the replacement of having coffee and breakfast. I personally would rather have coffee or brunch with someone than going, I don't drink. I find it unproductive.
She comes off way more self-focused, kind of performative, and saying things that straight up clash with the values she's loud about now.
A little bacon. Babe, that's deep in there. Give them a cleavage. People want cleavage. Showcase it.
Sells, babe.
Sells. That's me.
That's against me.
And instead of just owning that shift, everything before Charlie Kirk gets treated like it never happened. But that's not how timelines work. If you look at her dating history before Charlie, there's a very clear pattern. Professional athletes, media guys, politically adjacent men. Now this is where it stops being interesting and starts getting uncomfortable. In old Amazing Race audition footage that resurfaced, Erica casually lists places she didn't just travel to, places she says she lived.
I've lived in China. I've lived in Chongqing.
She says it like it's nothing.
In China. I've lived in Chongqing. I've been to Romania. I've been to Croatia. Lived in Puerto Rico for a little bit. So even though we haven't been dating long, there are some key things that are like the pillars of our relationship.
But Romania, that's not just another pin on a map. Romania keeps popping up in investigations for a reason. It's been linked over and over to modeling pipelines, sketchy casting networks, and routes tied to Eastern Europe.
With the military, they worked with the military in Romania to help orphans. Okay. Now, it is a fact that they worked with, at that time, Colonel Otto Buscher. Colonel Otto Buscher was then accused of running a brothel with young children.
A lot of it hides behind the same covers every time.
A woman filed in Romania and said, this is what's actually happening. These children are going onto the base and they're being prostituted to military men.
So when someone with Erica's background casually drops Romania into the mix, people aren't reaching by pausing on that. And then there's the fashion angle. Another old video resurfaced showing Erica pitching herself to work with Diane von Furstenberg's brand.
I'm at a great point, just career-wise, to be able to take on this type of endeavor. And I feel like I have something very unique to offer this whole experience in general. Like I said, I'm very coachable, I'm very trainable. And I'm the type of person that I don't need.
And again, this isn't random. DVF's social circle overlaps with names that show up directly in Epstein's Black Book. Diane's son, Alexander von Furstenberg, is a documented Epstein contact. Ghislaine Maxwell was also photographed at DVF events during the same era when Epstein's network was fully active. This is the exact social layer Epstein relied on for decades. Fashion, status, access, and credibility. And Erica wasn't just near it. She was actively trying to step inside it. Which brings us to what happened after Charlie Kirk's assassination. Just days after his very public assassination, Erica records a private Zoom call to Turning Point USA staff.
I just wanted to say, first and foremost, my heart obviously is broken for you guys as much as it is for our family. You guys lost not only a boss, but someone that you looked up to.
She appears composed, smiling, much happier than someone who just lost her husband.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, look at all the thumbs up. Look how cute that is. Sorry, this is a little bit more informal than probably Charlie would be reacting. How sweet. I didn't know they could do that. I hate Zoom. I never liked Zoom. Sorry, you guys.
She speaks about legacy, growth, and being blessed and honored to step into leadership. There's literally no space for grief to interrupt the agenda.
So if someone's acting weird, don't read into that. Weddings and funerals bring out the weirdest side in people.
And to be clear, everyone grieves differently. That's true. But this wasn't that.
The kids are going crazy. And you have 15 minutes left on the plane. And they're throwing their toys and they're screaming. And you're thinking to yourself, am I going to make it through these next 15 minutes? And then the plane lands. And Usha said, you're going to make it through those next 15 minutes. And then that was 15 minutes out. And so I just want to share that with you because it was a very private moment.
It sounded less like a widow processing loss and more like someone with an agenda. And less than 2 weeks after, Erica hopped on a corporate-wide call sounding excited.
The fact that we were able to pull off an event of a century, it's just insane. We had over 275,000 people that attended, and stadium overflow.
Yeah, that is too far.
Erica Kirk calling Charlie Kirk's funeral the event of the century in the new leaked audio that Candace Owens posted is crazy work.
Everyone has been saying the same thing. I know why her behavior feels off. There's nothing genuine about this woman. Everything she does looks scripted up to and including forgiving her husband's alleged killer. It all feels fake. I don't trust her, and neither should anyone else. And we know Epstein's network didn't rely on on emotional people. It relied on women who could stay calm and keep things moving even when everything around them was chaotic.
Like I said, I'm very coachable, I'm very trainable, and I'm the type of person that I don't need all the time in the world to get ready.
That's not a theory. That's documented behavior across multiple cases tied to how those systems actually worked. A Miami Herald reporting described Epstein building an empire, with people around him helping facilitate access to victims and keep the machine going. A civil complaint tied to Maria Farmer explicitly uses language about and normalizing behavior as a tactic used by abusers. That's the mechanism. Keeping victims psychologically managed requires someone who can appear composed, casual, even helpful. So when people say something about Erica feels off, they're not trying to analyze grief or emotions. They're recognizing a familiar pattern, a behavioral consistency. And now, more internal footage is starting to leak. More behind-the-scenes moments that were never meant to be public. And each one adds another layer to a story that was supposed to stay simple, because once you understand how these networks really functioned, you stop asking whether Erica personally knew Epstein. That was never the right question to begin with. The real question is how many systems she moved through that Epstein helped build, and whether her role was passive or practiced. And that's where this story stops pretending to be about the past, because the next video doesn't ask if something is wrong. It shows how deep it goes.
The time
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Thank you for joining me here for a special episode of Conversations with Taz as we continue to go through the Kirk Conspiracy. More information has come out regarding Mrs. Erica Kirk that's not looking so great. And in the last document drop regarding the Epstein/Maxwell files, it has been confirmed that she was in a recruitment role for these international sex trafficking. But that's not all. If you remember in the earlier parts of this series, I did bring up the question as to why would a millionaire widower need GoFundMe and be so quick to go out and campaign and work when she should be grieving and she has two young children that would be grieving and would need to be walked through the process of grieving and walk through what it means for their father to be deceased. But this next video should answer a few of those questions for you. And we're going to break down some of the videos, some of them in the information that was placed in the opening video. So take a look here.
Hey, so what do you mean Erica Kirk was written out of Charlie Kirk's will because she was having a secret affair? What? Recently, Charlie Kirk's will was read and distributed, and before he died, Erica Kirk was written out of the will because Charlie hired a private investigator to see if she was cheating on him, and she was! All of his assets, everything, his shares, everything he owns is going to his children and not to his wife. She really was celebrating with those fireworks. She was just trying to make the most money possible before the will was unveiled. Oh my god! Apparently Erica just found out and is like, well, they're my kids and I need the money, so I should get it anyways. Bitch! Legally, you cannot touch that! Imagine beefing with a guy who's dead. It's really horrible what happened to Charlie, but I really need that money more than my children.
Nobody said that she married him for love. They talked about having a traditional marriage, and I think more people need to delve into what a traditional, specifically white conservative Christian marriage is. It was out of obligation. It was out of aesthetic. It was not out of admiration, adoration, or love. But that would make sense because if you remember from previous versions, Erica admitted unprovoked that the night before her husband passed away, she did not allow him to share their marital bed. He put on his jewelry, his wedding ring, etc., and left without even giving her a kiss goodbye. But she made such a show to, once again, unprovoked, tell us how after his passing, before he was cleaned up, she just had to get in there and kiss him goodbye. Okay. But there's more.
By the way, I forgot to mention, Erica, if you could do me a favor. Doug DeGroot, that board member that announced you as the CEO, he made it really biblical. Could you send him my regards? I know he was meeting with Mikey the other day. They were discussing how to invest money. It's so weird. Mikey went straight from high school, was just Charlie's intern assistant, and now he's sitting down with board members and discussing how they should invest into restaurants. Just send him my regards because we're everywhere. And we're watching and we're listening. The whole world is invested in solving this. And so, hi, Doug.
But if you remember, I know everybody thought that there was like a kumbaya moment for Candace and Erica because by the close of 2025, they had sat down and they had this 4-hour meeting. And Candace said that she initially felt that Erica was very forthcoming, that she seemed honest and genuine. And Candace wasn't talking much about anything. But now she's back, and Candace now wants Erica to answer some questions about some things that she told specifically to Jesse Waters.
Why did you tell Jesse Waters this?
And you wanted to see Charlie immediately and came up. Take us through that.
We landed in Utah, went straight to the hospital.
Straight to the hospital? Andrew told me that when he deplaned, you guys embraced on the tarmac and he boohoo cried in your arms because he had so much pent up anxiety. So just given the planes, which you confirmed to me, which plane he was on and which plane you were on, that would mean that you had to wait for Andrew to land for an hour. You waited for an hour. Don't do the thing where you tell me that Andrew went rogue. Don't do that, Erica. You're lying. You would be lying. The question is why? Why did you wait? And how long did you wait? And who was on the Egyptian planes? Who took off to Delaware? Who stayed behind to communicate on that second plane that was transponding for no reason? I think you know what I know, which is that I'm going to find out. This is not going to be a never-ending mystery. This is not going to be the JFK story. I'm going to figure out exactly what happened, and I'm getting very close, against all odds, against billions. You might have the billions, but I have the truth.
Now, I'm not one to side with Candace Owens. I'm not one to agree with her. But I am skeptical of Erica Kirk because she will, unprovoked, provide information and lie about the information that she's providing. Why lie about time frames? Why lie about the order of operations in which things occurred? Why lie about who you spoke to, why, and when, where you could have just chosen not to speak on it at all? The money would have come rolling in, whether Erica Kirk stood in front of pyrotechnics or not. Charlie Kirk was a white man that presented himself as the underdog, the discriminated against, straight white Christian male in the United States. Plus, he was the incel that ended up with a wife and children. The money was going to come. So why lie about these details, and why hinder the investigation into his death? Because rolling with the investigation would have given her the financial security that she was clamoring for. But Candace also discusses Erica's alibi that's losing its gusto. Take a look for yourself.
I also now have very strong evidence which suggests that you lied about your whereabouts on the morning of September 10th. Little details have been edited. You said that you were accompanying your mother as she was receiving a treatment. Like I said, I now have something which strongly disputes that narrative. So I'll ask you this question on behalf of the world. What the hell happened on September 10th? Why are you guys struggling to get your story straight? Why did you tell Jesse Waters this?
And you wanted to see Charlie immediately and came up. Take us through that.
We landed in Utah, went straight to the hospital.
Straight to the hospital? Andrew told me that when he deplaned, you guys embraced on the tarmac and he boohoo cried in your arms because he had so much pent up anxiety. So just given the planes, which you confirmed to me, which plane he was on and which plane you were on, that would mean that you had to wait for Andrew to land for an hour. Waited for an hour. Don't do the thing where you tell me that Andrew went rogue. Don't do that, Erica. You're lying. You would be lying. The question is why?
Now, I wanted to play that again to let you know that, yes, that's also part of her alibi. But once again, why would a widow wait around for someone else? And why and how would a widower that raw and it not being a child of hers be able to comfort someone else? And why would you lean on someone's widow? Because in all of this, it's Erica is trying to curate herself as this great martyr, as this great, matron that comes in to swoop in to save everyone, and it's not necessary. She's trying to instantly take on a persona that could plausibly happen over months, over years, over time, but not within the moments of hearing that your husband passed, especially so violently and so publicly. And given how public things are, and them having zero information at the beginning, I've asked this before, I'm going to ask again. Why wasn't it security that contacted her? Why wasn't she traveling with security? Why weren't there precautions made? Out of all of the assassinations and assassination attempts that have been made throughout the course of U.S. history, it would be in very bad taste and extremely irresponsible to have zero information about the whereabouts of the shooter, the intent of the shooter, and you leave the rest of the family vulnerable. You have the wife traveling alone without appropriate levels of security. So let's play devil's advocate here. What would have happened if they would have snuffed out the both of them and then just started going down the chain of command of TPS USA? TP USA, Tapusa. Well, let's take a snippet. Let's take a look at that leaked video that was referenced at the top of the show.
Yep, there you go. Oh, look at all the thumbs up. Look how cute that is. Sorry, this is a little bit more informal than probably Charlie would be reacting. How sweet. I didn't know they could do that. I hate Zoom. I never like Zoom. Sorry, you guys. I just wanted to say first and foremost, my heart obviously is broken for you guys as much as it is for our family. You guys lost not only a boss, but
someone that you looked up to, someone that you believed in his mission, that you also that you loved. You loved listening to his show.
If you guys do need anything, please reach out to whoever you know to reach out to. And pray with one another, be there with one another, be soft with one another. Everyone grieves differently. So if someone's acting weird, don't read into that. Weddings and funerals bring out the weirdest side in people. Just anyone who's been married knows that. So don't read into that. Just love on each other. Deep breaths. Usha, I just wanted to share this with you all. I asked her when we were on the tarmac. I said, I don't know how to get through this. And she said, you know, when you're on an airplane, and some of you have kids will really relate to this. Others that don't, you've been on a plane with kids, so you can also relate to this. But she said, when you're on an airplane and you're 15 minutes before landing and the kids are going crazy and you have 15 minutes left on the plane and they're throwing their toys and they're screaming and you're thinking to yourself, am I going to make it through these next 15 minutes? And then the plane lands. And Usha said, you're going to make it through those next 15 minutes. And then that was 15 minutes out. And so I just want to share that with you because it was a very private moment. But it gave me some peace to know that we can just do this 15 minutes at a time. So if that means at work when you're feeling a little bit stop, take those 15 minutes and you'll be okay. We're all going to be okay. I love you guys. And we're going to make sure that we honor my husband so well that this whole world knows what his vision was and will be. And it's just, I feel so blessed and honored. Have a great meeting. Is there anything else to do? It's good. You guys are loved. Love this little film with all the birds. It's so cute. So sweet. God bless you all.
Blessed and honored. That is crazy work as adjectives. I mean, I don't really know what to say.
So many layers to this, but I'm going to stick on top of the layers of that. To equate overcoming the death of the spouse to handling rowdy children. Interesting. To point out that the moment you had with Usha Vance was very private. That was a choice. It was a choice. And saying that anybody who's been married knows that weddings and funerals bring out the. And interesting to point out how, like, we all know that people grieve differently, and to denote something is weird. It continues to give that she's preemptively saying, hey, don't question how I'm not grieving. The wiping of nothing, because nothing was smeared, nothing. I guess she cried from the outer of her eye. Because once again, there's no reason for her to take the helm. None. There was a whole succession, a whole chain of command in place. There was no reason for her to step to the forefront. And then she's like, was there anything else that needs to be said? Like, what was the point? What was the reason? And once again, where are her children to get through this process? Because as much as he traveled, I personally don't know how often he was at home, what the children were used to, their comfort zone as far as seeing their father, but eventually they would want to see them. Because let's not forget, once again, unprovoked. I know I say it a lot, but a lot of the information that we know from Erica Kirk was unprovoked, unasked or anything. She said that, her daughter asked where daddy was, and she said, oh, he's on a business trip with Jesus because he has to pay for your blueberries. Like, So we're not going to deal with the trauma that was inflicted upon. Well, this one's a bit of a long one. Take a look.
Hi, everybody. I still love all these emoji Zoom things. Wow. I don't even know where to begin. The fact that we were able to pull off an event of a century, like, it's just insane. We had over 275,000 people that attended, and stadium overflow, Westgate, insane, you guys. And then you have, was it 100 million? You guys that heard the gospel and all about Charlie and all about everything that you guys do, and the hard work of Turning Point USA is insane. We had thousands that were registered to vote. I think we're at like over 200,000 for merch sales. Don't quote me on that because I think it just keeps like bumping up like crazy. But I just wanted to say a huge thank you to the events team, the development team, the graphic design team, the production team. It's just phenomenal. Their incredible work leading into the memorial. And honestly, a lot of the staff that worked on the memorial, they had 20-hour days for a week during the time of us grieving the loss of my husband. And honestly, I know several staff that didn't even sleep. Again, you guys are breathing angels, and I'm so grateful for all of you. And obviously a huge thank you to the Mosaic team. VI, you guys are 10 out of 10. Like, we have the most incredible team. We just do. And you guys know that, and you guys are all a part of that. And I am so thankful. And if you do have a moment and you run into any of those staff members that you know had a role in this, and you know that they put a lot of their time and effort into it, just say thank you. There's something really special to be seen in moments like this, and it's not easy. I'm speaking from experience. I'm right in the trenches with you guys. And so the fact that you just, a simple thank you. I don't care if any of you have beef with each other from the past or have any issues with someone said something about this or that. Like, if you guys have any of that, please put it to rest. My husband's dead. Like, I'm not trying to be morbid, but he's dead. And it puts life into perspective of how short life is, and relationships, and God puts people in your life for a reason, and it teaches you a lesson, it teaches them a lesson. So if you are going through a time where, just lay it to rest, and we are moving forward, Turning Point USA 2.0 with Charlie in our hearts, and that's what he would want. I'm just grateful that while things were still in motion and moving around, that we had our leadership teams provide for you, counselors, pastors. I heard there were therapy dogs. Slightly jealous that I didn't get to have any moment with a therapy dog. Breakfast. I was really adamant about making sure that we paid for your flights for your spouses to be there. That was something on my heart. You don't want to grieve alone. No one's supposed to grieve alone. It's not healthy. But I just think it's a beautiful honor that all of these benefits were made for the community to grieve and remember Charlie. And I really hope you took advantage of those in a healthy way when they were provided, because it's meant to be for everyone, for healing. Grief comes in waves. Some days are going to be tougher than others, but take it as it comes. And that's why you have your Turning Point family, and just lean on them, and lean on other people in your life that will help you and pour into you and pray with you to get you through it. I say that, though, that if you do need more time to grieve, please continue to use Turning Point USA's network of counselors. We have pastors. I mean, there are so many resources for you. If you do need additional time off, please talk to your director. about using paid time off for that. And again, it's not easy, but again, grief is hard. Otherwise, honestly, Turning Point USA and Turning Point Action, full steam ahead, you guys. Charlie would want us to get back to work, and that's what we're doing, and that's what we did with the memorial, and I'm so honored and proud of each and every one of you, because that's what we're going to do in his honor and in his name. We have so much to do, which is exciting. Charlie in heaven is like, you guys thought you had a busy schedule then, just you wait. And he's doing some awesome things with Jesus in heaven right now, but there's so much work to be done. I mean, since his assassination, we have 100,000 chapter requests. We have 300,000 new donors. That is a blessing in itself. Again, not normal, all God. I think we have 50,000 plus hat orders to fulfill. I mean, I'm saying these numbers because it puts into perspective that we're not just sitting and thinking and looking at the wall being like, what do we do? Like that, there is so much to do. You have over 20,000 AmFest registrations. The prophetic mind of my husband was that he always planned for the future. You guys are obviously aware of like Vision 2025, but Charlie was also working on Vision 2030 in the weeks leading up to September 10th. And he was working really closely with Justin. And that's why Justin had been appointed the role of COO, because he was literally, I remember phone calls when Charlie and I would take our night walks, and it would be 10 o'clock at night, and him and Justin would just be talking about the plans. I was aware of the plans. I have his journals that are aware of the plans. Like, there is no confusion of what's to come. And I want to give you guys that reassurance that it's full steam ahead. And the board and I are working with Justin and the executive leadership teams to make sure that all of those plans come into effect 2030 and beyond. But I, again, am so grateful for all of you. I'm so proud of all of you. You honor my husband so well. All of you do. And it's weird to say I'm excited. I really hesitate saying that. It's really hard for me to say that. It's a really weird thing to say, but I think it comes from a space of peace, knowing that God's using this and we're humbly witnessing the gospel in real time.
There are online rumors insinuating that Erica Kirk played a part in her husband's death. People are drawing this conclusion because of the inconsistencies in information that she's putting out, her demeanor since his passing, etc. I don't believe that she did, from what I've seen and what I've been able to confirm right now. Things may change as information comes out, and theories and etc. will, evolve as necessary. But I will say she has no problem marketing off of it. She has no problem putting herself in the position that she's long believed that she deserved. Now that he's no longer on this mortal, she doesn't care. And once again, you have to look at their union as what it was, a business arrangement. you hear marriage, you hear husband, wife, you hear these terms. And a lot of times, because so many things are marketed and infantilized, you believe that everyone does this because they love one another, because there's mutual respect that goes back and forth. That is not always the case, unfortunately. And let's not forget what we learned earlier in the show. According to the moves Charlie made before he died, he was on his way to divorce court. He had changed his will. He was not leaving her anything because he had confirmed that she was cheating, that she was not emotionally or physically there for him. And let me reiterate that the night before his passing, she, her words, forbade him from sharing their marital bed. He left the home without a kiss, without a goodbye, without anything. And I know some people out there are like, well, when I'm beefing with my spouse, I don't do that either. Okay. Let's get a little realistic right now. This is life. There's no cuts, there's no rewinds, there's no reshoots, there's no do-overs. So while you're out here proving that you don't need them or don't want them, remember, when you teach somebody how to not want you, desire you, or depend upon you, it's the kiss of death. And if you can not say goodbye, that might be the last opportunity that you have. And just think, you might be leaving behind an Erica Kirk that will market off of that. Most definitely. But you do have to realize not everybody likes their spouse. And I think we can all agree she didn't like him at all. And I don't think that she actually wanted to be a parent. She wanted the spotlight. And in previous episodes of this conspiracy series, we gone through, her being on reality shows, her auditioning for things, her being in music videos. She wanted the spotlight. She wanted to be known. She wanted to be out front. Now, why she got entangled with Charlie, for me at least, hasn't been confirmed. Nothing has been substantiated. But I think at this point, we can draw the conclusion it wasn't because she was overwhelmingly attracted to him. But we will end tonight's edition, for now, with a questionable relationship and public exchanges Erica had. Take a look and listen.
So I ran across this video by Nisi. You need to see these alleged texts between 25-year-old Erica and a 15-year-old girl.
She began an interesting relationship with a 15-year-old girl named Jillian. This tweet on March 6, 2014. So Erica says, "Let me call you. Hold on, sweetheart. Give me a sex. Wow." And then Jillian says, "Okay," and puts laughing emojis. Erica then says, Sex too, but not from you, LOL. Holy shit, laughing emoji. You always make me laugh. I don't bat for the other team just yet. Mind you, this was after Erica had won Miss Arizona. She is running businesses. She has the Romanian Angels charity and other charities. A few hours later, she then tweeted, "Why did @Erica Fransvi just send me this?" Laughing emojis. And there is a photo which says, "This Valentine's Day, I am going to touch your butt." Erica says, "I forgot to tell you, hydrate tonight. No alcohol, and don't eat a lot of salty foods. You don't want to look bloated."
I don't like that. What is Erica getting her ready for? They didn't meet through beauty pageants. They met while Erica was out with her then boyfriend.
Jillian then responds, "Thank you." Erica says, "No alcohol. Really, Erica? Age recognition, you twat waffle. Apparently, I haven't had my coffee yet." What the hell, Erica? Laughing emoji. Well, on that bite, ... Note, damn you, Siri. Come on, hashtag the struggle. What are you trying to say, laughing emoji? Spit it out, you twat waffle. Jillian tweeted, "I just want to be somebody's woman crush Wednesday. Is that too much to ask?" That evening, she then tweets, "Thank you @Erica Fransvi for making my whole week." And she shares this photo, and the photo is of a gnome, and it says, "I want to be inside your lady garden." Gnome saying,
"Right to jail, right away."
These tweets are still available on Twitter as I am making this video. On April 3rd, 3rd, 2014, Jillian tweeted this picture and said, "I miss this goon." A few minutes later, she tweeted, "Did Erica just text me #no new friends? Oh my fucking god, I can't." A few days later, on April 5th, 2014, Jillian posted this tweet, "Getting this in the mail from Erica Francvi." And in the photo is a red box of chocolate-covered strawberries and other chocolate desserts. And the card in the photo says this: "Happy sweet 16, beautiful girl. Keep strong in faith and know that you're loved. But most of all, never forget that you are perfect and amazing just the way you are. I am so proud of you. Today is the first day of another 365-day journey around the sun. Enjoy the trip, boo. Love you, E." On June 7th, 2014, Jillian shared this tweet. "This has to be the most heartfelt compliment I've ever gotten." And she attached a screenshot of her conversation with Erica. So Jillian says, "Thank you." Erica says, "You have the most stunning features." Jillian says, "Best compliment ever." Erica says, "Your eyes, your lips, your skin, you're absolutely beautiful." Jillian responds with the crying emoji, "You're making me cry." Jillian posted this photo of the beach and Erica says, "Unreal gorgeous." And then Jillian responds, "This is by far my favorite picture I took. My mom wants to get it blown up at Erica Francvi." Erica responds, "I could see why, boo." Jillian responds, "So perfect at Erica Francvi." Erica then responds, ... "Yes, I know you are."
What name is being redacted from the Epstein/Maxwell files that we really should be paying attention to? I'm going to leave you with that. As always, as additional information comes out regarding the death of Charlie Kirk and the maneuvers over the years and the history of Erica Kirk, I will bring them to you as I can. But as always, thank you for joining me here for Conversations with Taz. Until next time.